Hi everyone, today we are going to make some really beautiful fall crafts, and I'm going to start by showing you guys how to make a Jenga block pumpkin. And it's real easy. I made one of these pieces off camera, but you're going to need two of these pieces that look kind of like a T shape. And I'm just using some Gorilla Hot Glue to glue these together, but you can use whatever glue you're comfortable with. And then on the sides here, you're going to glue two pieces of the Jenga blocks, well, two Jenga blocks, I'm sorry, one on each side like this, like kind of going halfway onto the other Jenga block. Maybe a little less than half, looks like, or around half. And then you're going to glue the other piece on top of that. And it kind of forms like a circle if you look at it, sort of, like an oval. But I've seen these all over YouTube, and I just thought they were really cute and decided I would try it. I've seen a few people do this, so I'm not really sure who made this up, and I apologize if, it seems like I'm copying. I mean, I'm not trying to whatsoever. That is not what my channel's about. Excuse me. And you do not have to put the glue in like this to glue the other Jenga block in the middle. It's actually much less messy to put a dab of, a string of hot glue on each side of the Jenga block you stick in. And that would be a lot easier and less messy. Just for future reference. Now I'm just trying to pick off some of that hot glue that I got everywhere. And now I'm going to go ahead and stain my stem with Antique Wax by Waverly, which I'm going to use a wooden cube from the Dollar Tree. And I wind up staining 3 of these because I'm going to do 3 pumpkins. 1 orange, 1 green, and 1 white. You can also just paint these, but I don't know, I thought it looked nice stained. I actually need to go to Dollar Tree and get me some more of these little wood cubes, because I'm like pretty much out of them. Because they really do come in handy for other things too. At first I wasn't really the biggest fan of these Jenga block pumpkins, but I don't know, they kind of grew on me. They're actually really cute when you make a few of them and then put them together. Like, they just look really cute. And now I'm going to paint my pumpkin. That's Harvest Orange by Apple Barrel. I love this orange color. And I'm going to use like 3 shades of orange for this. You could just paint it straight up orange and that still looks nice. I've actually done that already. But honestly, I mean, it looks good either way. Sorry if you hear my dog barking in the background. He hears something in the hallway, and he always does that. He hears my brother's dog, I think. Hopefully it's not too noticeable, him barking and growling. He thinks he's protecting me. But yeah, it looks beautiful, even just straight up orange like this. I still love it. And now I kind of do wish I just left it as is, but I don't know, it looks nice both ways. It doesn't hurt to make it look even nicer. I've always said these remind me of Minecraft. Looks like a Minecraft pumpkin. My littlest brother likes Minecraft, and I've even thought of joking with him and saying, "Here, this pumpkin is just for you." Because you like Minecraft. And I'm just trying to evenly distribute the paint. That's what's happening right here, because there's like some globs of paint here and there. And now I'm going to take Jack-O-Lantern by Waverly. That's what this one is. I mean, not Waverly, I'm sorry, Apple Barrel. And then Apricot by Apple Barrel. Stuttering on my words. But these are very nice oranges for pumpkins, I will say. Now I'm just putting a little more of my Harvest Orange, because I ran out. And see, I think this is the Jack-O-Lantern. See, it's a lighter orange. I tried to turn my light on. Well, I did turn it on, because I'm trying to show you guys what I'm doing. And I know I go back in with my, I think this part is Apricot, this color. I can't even see what I went into. Now I'm going back into Harvest Orange because I felt like it got just a little too light. Because I didn't want to lose that color completely. Now I'm going to, I think I'm about to add the shading to the pumpkin, if I remember correctly. Yep, Truffle by Waverly, which is just this really beautiful brown, and I took some on my brush, and I'm mixing it in with the Harvest Orange, because I didn't want it too dark, of course. So now I'm going to add some shading. And this is optional. All of the shading and highlighting, you really could just paint it straight up orange, and it is still cute as a button. Personally, I love it both ways just as much. Especially when it comes to Jenga block pumpkins. They're just different, and they just make a statement all on their own. But yeah, I'm just shading here and there. Honestly, there's no right or wrong way to do it either. Now I'm smoothing out the shading because I didn't want it to be too harsh. But it looks really pretty already. The oranges and the shading and the highlights. Really pretty. And I turned my light off because I'm trying to see like which lighting is better, like to show the colors. And I don't know. I feel like either way it's kind of hard to actually see the true colors. But I'm trying my best, you guys. I promise I am. Now I'm going to glue on my cute little wooden cube stem. And you can just like turn it any way you think it looks better, and you have a little time to do that before the hot glue hardens. And now I'm going to make a cute little raffia bow. And I got this like regular color raffia from Dollar Tree. And I didn't like how this one turned out, so I wound up redoing the same. I just undid it right here, watch. And then I just did it again because I thought I wanted it just a little bit bigger. But I think it would have been perfect the first way, but we live and we learn, huh? And then I'm just taking another piece of raffia and tying that in the center. And you just wind it around your fingers a few times, and then it makes like a nice little circle of raffia, and then you just tie it off in the middle. You pinch it in the middle and then tie it off in the middle, and that makes your bow. I'm going to try my hardest to do a little tutorial for you guys at some point of how I do that. There's also other people who have done it on YouTube, and they do a great job. And see, we're going to glue our cute little raffia bow on the stem of the pumpkin. And I'm trying to make it a little smaller right here. And that's what you see me doing. I'm trying to adjust the little loops and tails, because you don't want it to overwhelm the pumpkin too much. Now I'm just adding a dab of hot glue to my bow and attaching it to the stem, because I think it makes it so cute. Look at all that paint back there on that paper. It's a lot of paint. Now I'm just trimming my tails on my bow because I thought they were just a bit too long. And now we're going to go ahead and make a crate out of the craft sticks from Dollar Tree. And these are the larger ones from Dollar Tree. They are definitely larger than their regular popsicle sticks, and I love them. They make the cutest little crates. And now I'm just chopping the ends off the popsicle sticks. And I'm just holding it up to the new popsicle stick just so I can make sure they're all the same size. And you're going to need 12 that are this size, just letting you know ahead of time. And see, now I'm just creating one of the sides. And I'm just holding up a popsicle stick up to it so that way I can measure how long it needs to be. And it's better to add a dot of hot glue on each craft stick, as you see me doing, because I almost did it wrong a second ago. But it's better that way, because if not, you'll get hot glue like all in between the sticks and it just doesn't look right. Especially when you go to stain it, because you can't stain hot glue, it just doesn't hold. But you're going to need 3 of these sides, because one is the side, one is the bottom, and then one is the other side. And the short sides, you'll see how I do that. I try to show you guys the best I can. And see, then I just need one more of those that in that size. And I kind of guess how far apart the sticks are supposed to be. I mean, you kind of just know by looking at it. You can kind of just guess. And just doing the same thing, just kind of measuring it. And see, now I have 3. And now I'm going to go ahead and glue them together using some more hot glue. Then taking a Jenga block from the Dollar Tree, I'm just going to glue this to the bottom and against the side just to hold it in place. It just adds a little more stability to it. Excuse me. And then doing the same thing, except I wound up doing it on each side like that. Not sure why I did that. I think it's because for some reason this one turned out a little different. I don't know. But it still wound up being a cute little crate. Still came together nice. See, now I'm going to go ahead and hold up one stick up to the side at the top, and I'm going to trace it just so I know where to cut. That way it's even. And I'm going to do that all the way down to each popsicle stick. And if you're wondering why I don't just do it the same way I did the other sides, is because for some reason, sometimes the measurement winds up different on both sides, just slightly, and then it doesn't want to fit right. I guess because, you know, when you're working with craft sticks and not heavy-duty tools and stuff like that, it's hard to get your measurements perfect. But it works for me. See, and it's not too hard either. Just measure each time, glue, and you got it. And I do this to both sides, of course. And they seem to hold very well too, even though they're only glued together with Gorilla Hot glue. Like no wood glue or E6000 or any of that. And I wound up putting a popsicle stick on each side of that wall of the crate, on each end. And I don't think I really have to do this, but I just wound up doing it anyways. But you guys don't have to. I just felt like I should. Don't know why, honestly. And I'm doing the same to this side. And I went ahead and did it off camera and then stained it with antique Waverly wax. And now I'm putting in the bag to that Spanish moss and then what was left of the Spanish moss because I didn't have much left. And then I'm taking this cute little farm fresh word and that I got from Dollar Tree. And I'm painting it in Cashew by Waverly. It's this really nice, like, nutty cream color, I guess you could call it. It's a really nice color. And it pops off really pretty of that brown on the crate. I'm just trying to make sure I get in all the little, like, nooks and crannies. And then I'm just going to blow dry that till it's dry. It doesn't take long at all either. And then I'm going to glue that to the front of my crate with some hot glue. It's really cute. And if you haven't realized yet, we're going to use this for our little wooden Jenga block pumpkins. I thought it would make a really cute way of, you know, displaying these. And I was just playing around with it. I was trying to put these cute little acorns from Dollar Tree in there that I got years ago, but I didn't really like it, so I took them back out. And that'll be all for this project. And now, I did paint this truck ahead of time, and I was painting it red, and I just didn't like it, so I decided to show you guys that I'm going to paint it a different color. And I'm using this pretty, like, teal color, and I think it's called Agave or Agave. I don't know how you say it. But it's by Waverly, and it's this really pretty teal color. I love it. So I decided to paint my truck this color instead of red. And it was this little wooden cutout from Dollar Tree, and I just got it not that long ago, and I decided, you know what? Forget red. I'm going to go different this time. I would love to do these for Christmas and Valentine's Day as well. That would be so fun. Or even Halloween, why not? I should try to find another one and try to do it for Halloween. I'm not too big on Halloween stuff, but I think some of it's cute. And I added, I think, about 2 coats of this paint, trying to cover up all that red. Not that red isn't cute, but I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it for some reason. I don't know. Me and my picky moods. And then I have my pencil, and I'm just trying to make the markings of where the top, I don't know what you call them, but it goes over the tires on the older trucks. The metal part. Well, I'm trying to draw that on both sides above the tires, and that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to try to do some shading where I did that, using a little bit of the Truffle Brown by Waverly mixed with that color, the teal color. And I'm just doing that to try to make it a bit darker. And it does work, but it kind of makes it a gray. Who knew? But it does work perfectly. And now I'm just smoothing the shading out and adding the shading back in just until I think it looks right. Yeah, and I just keep going and keep going, like I said. And you can't really mess it up too bad because you can always paint over it if you mess up, or you can just keep on doing it till it looks right. Like I've said before about painting. I love to paint. It's so fun. Very relaxing too. And now I'm trying to draw the little outline of my door and the stepping thing, the step on the truck, and the door handle, all that. Let's see, now I'm just like shading all of that. I really love to do that. It's so fun. See, there's like the footstep. You can kind of see it coming together. I really don't know why I'm doing that right there. I think I'm trying to smooth out the shading, but I really didn't have to. It looks like it's coming together really nice. Now that I'm watching myself do this. But I put it right back, so it still winds up looking good. Even if I keep doing it over and over again, but it still does wind up good. Yeah, and see, I realized I took too much off. I don't know why I do that. Now I'm just making the door outline a bit longer. Now I'm dipping between both paint colors and just trying to make it not too light, not too dark. See, that was my problem. I didn't want it to be too light or too dark, and I don't know, I'm kind of picky with that. Now I'm going to take some white folk art paint, and it could be any white paint, doesn't really matter the brand, nothing. I'm just adding a little bit of highlights here and there. And I just did it kind of randomly. And I really like how that came out too. See, I'm not even like trying to make it perfect or nothing. I'm just placing it randomly. Now I'm trying to add the little headlight. I really wasn't sure what color to use for that, so I just kind of went with what I had already there. And I realized later I forgot to do the outline of the other part of the door, like, you know, the front outline, so I wind up doing that later off camera, but I did the same thing because I didn't realize it till later. Now I'm doing the outlines. I'm drawing like the other part of the tire so that way I can fix that. And I'm just going over that with more black paint by Waverly. It's called Ink. It's a really nice black because it's very dark. It's very pigmented. Like I've just noticed, it's like not like a faded black at all. It's very dark, like it says. Like it's like the name Ink. That's what I love about Waverly Paints, is like they just don't disappoint at all. I really love how they do. And now I'm gonna paint the frame. No, I don't know what you call that. That part on the bed of the truck, the wooden part. I'm gonna paint that in Truffle because it's a nice solid like medium brown, very pretty. And I'm just trying to get it in there. really love this little truck. And I love how they like literally use it for every season pretty much. I've seen it for like all the seasons. But my favorites are probably fall and Christmas when it comes to this little truck. I don't know why. I mean, Valentine's Day is really cute too, but my most top favorites are fall and Christmas. Now I'm just making sure I got all the parts and didn't miss any parts. And I'm just painting where I might have missed. And now I'm going to dry brush over that with Cashew by Waverly. This like nice cream color shade. And see, that made it look almost like real wood. And now I might have gotten it just a bit too light in some spots, so I'm going back over that with some of the Truffle. But just barely. See, look at that. And see, now I have these leftover pieces from a serving tray that I got at Dollar Tree. They're like in the party section, I think. But they're made of plastic, and I was cutting designs out of them one day, and I decided to use this for the hubcaps. Like, I just traced the wheel, and I cut it smaller than what I traced. That way I can glue it onto the back, and it won't show from the other side. See? And then I thought it would look nice, you know, to make it like a rust. But first I'm cutting out my other one. I'm getting ahead of myself. And I tried it off camera at first because I wasn't sure how it was going to look, and I don't know. But see, it looks kind of cool. Looks kind of rusted. See, I didn't do it to the other one, so I'm going to show you guys. I took like a stipply brush and I just stippled it on. And then I took my hair dryer, held it down with my scissors, and blow dried it dry on each one. Dried pretty quickly too. Then I'm going to hot glue it to the back. And you may want to be very careful when you're adding your hot glue, because I did put too much on one of them, and I had some seepage on the other side, on the shiny part, and I didn't like that, and I scraped it off the best that I could. See, I started doing it right there on camera, and then I fixed it. Now I'm adding just tiny bits of hot glue, see, just here and there. I learned my lesson. And I was careful how hard I pressed it down even. And see, look at that. I love that as hubcaps. Now we're going to make a backing for this cute little truck with a Dollar Tree summer sign. And now I'm going to take some lightweight spackle and fill in my holes. And this came from Dollar Tree as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. Then I'm going to take a piece of a popsicle stick and just kind of smooth it out. Kind of scrape it. Because I didn't want it to be like too chunky and lumpy. Now I'm going to set this aside to dry. Now that it's dry, I'm going to sand it with a sanding sponge just to smooth out all the lumpiness. And then brush that away. Now I'm going to trace a piece of this craft paper so that way we can cover the back of the sign like usual. Or should I say the front of the sign, and we're going to use the back. Now I'm going to cut that out. Now we're going to glue that on with the hot glue. And I'm curling, the reason I'm rolling it the opposite way is because I'm tired of it curling up on me, and that kind of helps it to stop doing that. Then I'm just going to put hot glue on the very edges. I don't even put hot glue on the middle or nothing, just the edges seems to do just fine, so that's what I do. And it's just like me getting my silicone spatula at the last minute. As long as I do it right. And if you have a little bit of overhang on your paper, that's okay, because we can always sand that down later. And it usually sands right off with a sanding sponge or sandpaper. Because I've tried to cut that with scissors and it just... See, I'm just sanding it. Trying to anyways, make it to where y'all can see. Sometimes if you scrape towards you, it helps to get the paper off without damaging anything. And now I'm going to take Mineral by Waverly and I'm going to add 2 coats of that. And now I'm going to take Cashew by Waverly and I'm going to distress the edges and the sides. Basically each side. Kind of going in like a line motion. Adds like little lines. Then I'm going to take Antique Wax by Waverly and I'm going to do the same thing. The exact same way. But I tried not to do it like too much because I wanted both colors to show. But kind of a little blended, but a little like not blended, if that makes any sense. Because I thought this added a very nice distressing touch. I'm doing this to all edges as well. Same way, like I said. And now I'm going to add some beautiful nautical rope to the edges. Because I thought that that would make a nice frame. And I got the nautical rope from Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just trying to do this to all edges, and I find it's probably a little easier if you don't lay it down as you're gluing it because the hot glue sticks to the paper and it's so hard to get it off. But it still works either way as long as you're careful. And I mean, you can also make a border or a frame with Jenga blocks. I mean, it's completely up to you how you want your border or frame to be. Could even get away with not even adding a frame, period. You could just leave the distressing kind of as the frame. But I don't know, I really love to do extra for some reason. I'm almost done, as you can see. And I didn't want my rope to unravel, so I put a little hot glue down in the frays of it. And that was the last piece to glue down, so then I can get started on my next step here in a minute. Now I'm going to go ahead and singe away all the furs from the rope. Turn the flame up on that lighter so it can get its job done faster. And now I'm going to take my cute little truck that I painted, and I'm going to add like stacks of 2 Jenga blocks to the back. See how I did? And I did that actually 3 times. I wound up doing it again because it just needed it right there too. And this just makes it to where we can make it look more 3D and look like something is in the back of the truck. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of E6000 glue to the centers of those block stacks. And then to the edges of the block stacks, I'm going to use some hot glue. See, just little dollops. And then just stick it down, and the hot glue will hold it temporarily. Now I'm going to cut some pumpkins in half that I got from Dollar Tree and Walmart. This one came from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just kind of shaving off a little more of that foam. And then I got some raffia, and I'm going to make it look kind of like it's holding hay and pumpkins. Or like the pumpkins are sitting on top of hay. Because I just thought that looked so cute. And I didn't even glue it down or nothing, the raffia, because when I glue down the pumpkins, it kind of holds it down. And I'm just adding my stem back. I'm going to glue that with some hot glue. Excuse me. Now I'm going to cut this beautiful white pumpkin in half, and I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to glue it like in the middle. And then another orange pumpkin to the side of that one. And now I'm going to paint the word harvest, and I was going to do it in Truffle, and I don't know, I just changed my mind all of a sudden and decided to paint it in black instead by Waverly, the ink color. And I added like 2 to 3 coats of that. I think it was 3 actually. And I could have left it silver, but I don't know, I just felt like it's more noticeable when it's painted a dark color like this. Then I'm going to take some Fabritac glue, and that actually bonds more than fabric. It bonds metal, glass, leather, all kinds of materials actually. And see, I'm just placing the glue here and there, not all over the word, because I didn't want it to be too gloopy of a mess. So now I'm going to glue that to the top of the truck. Well, above the truck, I mean. And it actually grabbed pretty quickly. That stuff dries really fast for it to be liquid glue. And now I'm going to make a little like hanger with some jute twine, and I'm going to actually put hot glue down on the end, press it down till it's dry, and then add a popsicle stick piece for extra stability. And doing that to both sides. And don't worry about this falling, it seems to hold very well. I still have it hanging on my wall right now. And see, that's the finished product of that. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.